Alright, so I just came back from the Aespa concert in Toronto, and I've had so many thoughts that were just brewing in my brain that I just need to let them out in a video. So, just letting you know, I was in section D on the floor, I was in VIP, I had the whole soundtrack experience, everything like that. And this is actually my second time seeing them. The first time I saw them was in Los Angeles for a festival called Camp LA. If you know, Camp LA was kind of a disaster, but that was the first time I've ever seen Aespa. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm going to be referencing Camp LA a couple times, so keep that in mind. First thing I'd like to address regarding this concert is the crowd. We've probably all seen the TikTok videos going around about how the Toronto crowd was just bad, it was just not it, it was just low energy. And not gonna lie, even from my section on the floor, I felt it. Like, my section wasn't bad, it was pretty decent, but for a VIP floor section, it could have been a lot better. Like, I don't have a loud yelling voice, but during the concert, I felt like I was louder than most of the people. And based on what I felt, it seemed like all the other sections that weren't on the floor were pretty dead, which was really unfortunate. I even felt it from the very beginning since soundcheck. When they came out for soundcheck, we were not as loud as I was expected. Like, I get it, it wasn't a full arena, but they're there. This is our moment as VIPs. This is what we paid for. So, let's bring the energy. There was even a time where Giselle told us to charge up. Another thing that I also noticed was there was hardly any light sticks in the crowd. Like, it's always nice to go to a K-pop concert and see like a sea of light sticks throughout the entire crowd. But at Aespa in Toronto, all we got was a puddle of phones. Like, I get it. You are not obliged to buy a light stick. I get it. Those things are not cheap. But the amount of light sticks that, or the lack of, that I saw in Toronto was very surprising. Some people were saying, oh, it's because they sold out. Okay, with that logic, where are the sold out light sticks? Shouldn't they be shining? Shouldn't we be seeing them in the crowd? Where are they? There were hardly any. Also, just to put this into perspective, there were more Aespa light sticks when I first saw them in Camp LA than there were in their own frickin' tour in Toronto. What is up with that? So, I don't know. That the lack of light sticks, the low energy, it was rough. So, the next thing that I'm going to bring up is the structure of the program slash set list as a whole. I'm just going to show you something here. Alright, so here I have Aespa's set list and structure for the entire concert. So, the one thing that I want to point out is the VCRs. If you don't know what a VCR is, it stands for video clips recorded, which means those little movies that you see at concerts, okay? So, we started with the intro VCR, which is fine. Every concert needs to have an intro VCR. We had 3 songs, and then a VCR for 4.5 minutes. We had a bunch of songs, a talk, another VCR for 5 minutes, and then we had a bunch of mini VCRs in between their solos, which weren't too bad, to be honest. And then here's the crazy thing, okay? We had a VCR after We Go for 5 minutes, and then Navis for 3 minutes. We had a VCR before Navis. Navis is a VCR, okay? Navis is a VCR. You've got to be kidding me right now. Like, that is wild. And then after that, okay, we had the intermission and the dance challenge, which lasted about 13 minutes. And then after that was another VCR for the song You. It lasted 3 to 4 minutes. It was for a song. Why couldn't they have just come out and perform that song? Why did it have to be a VCR? And then after that, energy, and then, yeah, so throughout this entire evening, we got 8 VCRs, which lasted approximately 24 and a half minutes, plus Navis, plus the dance challenge, which ultimately added to 40 and a half minutes of no Aespa on stage. Now, some of you may be saying, oh, VCRs are part of the concert experience. We need time for the idols to change and whatever. I get that. VCRs are necessary. Idols need breaks. They need water breaks. They need to change, get their makeup done, take a piss, take a dump, whatever. Okay, whatever they need to do. But 8, bro? 8 VCRs? That's wild. Here's also another thing I want to mention, okay? Do you remember their first tour? Remember those mini VCRs that I said that existed in this tour? Well, in their previous tour, they didn't have VCRs in between some of the solo stages. Ning Ning's solo stage, right after, she reused that outfit and performed a song after. Same thing with Giselle. Okay? Giselle performed her solo and then used that same outfit to perform a song after. Why couldn't they just do that for this one? Why did we have to get so many VCRs? Now, for those of you saying, oh, this many VCRs is normal, I'm going to show you another concert, okay, that also happened in Toronto and in the USA. This is Twice, Ready to Be set list for USA and Canada. They had an intro VCR, and then non-stop action, clean transition to song after song and then solo stage, and then a VCR for 1.5 to 2 minutes and a band intro for 2 minutes, and then song after song after song, solo after solo. This was probably the longest VCR in the entire event, okay? It was a 5-minute VCR, and that was more than halfway through the concert. And then after that, more performances, more talking, more interaction, and then the dance challenge segment, which was only 9 to 10 minutes. Those are all the VCRs in Twice's Ready to Be concert set list. They had 2. They had 2. If you count the dance challenge, okay, they had 3. Aespa had 8. Not including Navis and the dance challenge, which makes 10. Math. That's what I'm saying, man. When I go to a concert, I'm there for a concert. This isn't a movie theater. I'm here to see my favorite artists perform. Not here to watch a movie of my favorite artists, right? Like, it was crazy. They would perform songs and then a long VCR, and then perform songs and a long VCR, perform songs, long VCR. It's like our energy was getting lower and lower like a wave, right? We would get high energy and then a VCR. High energy and then a VCR. High energy and then a VCR. Like, I'm not defending the Toronto crowd in any way. Toronto crowd could have been better, right? This same set list existed in other places where the crowd was more hype. But I'm just saying that this structure did not help. This structure did not help at all. This many VCRs does not add to the concert experience. It takes away from it. Like, I don't know who the concert director or the musical director was that was in charge of putting this set list together. I don't know who they are, but bro, UPS is hiring, man. Go do something else. But I'm going to be honest, I don't want them back for the next tour. Alright, now the last thing that I want to address is Aespa themselves. And this is where I'm probably going to get a lot of hate. It's probably going to be a little bit controversial. But where I'm coming from is from a place of love and care. Like, I am a hardcore Aespa stan. I have had these girls' backs since debut, and I've been following them since debut. They are my number one stand group at the moment. And recently, Aespa just became the 4th gen group with the most amount of Deseng awards. So, they're number 5 right now, just under Big Bang. If you're to take the 4 groups above them and put them in Scotiabank Arena, that arena would erupt. So why wasn't that the case for Aespa? I personally think, since their fame is leveling up, I believe their performance now needs to level up. They need to reach that next level of stage presence and performance. During the concert, there weren't many times where they interacted with the fans. To be honest, the most hype part of the day was their song Energy. Simply because of, everyone put your hands in the air, everyone put your hands in the air. But we were putting our hands in the air. That was probably the most hype part of the night, not gonna lie. It's because they were telling us to do stuff. They were interacting with us. Like if there was more repeat after me, or if there was more sing along to this, or if there was more clap your hands like this, that type of stuff, I feel like it would have woke up the crowd. Now, some people may be saying, oh, it's because the crowd isn't hardcore Aespa stans. They don't know their songs. I'm gonna tell you a story, again, from Camp LA. There was one group in Camp LA which was arguably probably the best set in the entire event. And it was from a group where I'm pretty sure majority of the fans that were in attendance were not familiar with. That group was Epic High. Majority of the people in attendance in Camp LA were younger than me, mostly Gen Z. So they probably aren't familiar with a lot of Epic High's songs. But because of Epic High's interaction with the fans, because they talked to us, told us to scream, told us to jump, they got us hype, they raised the energy. It doesn't matter if people don't know the song, people got hype. Everyone was jumping, everyone had their hands up, everyone was screaming, the energy was insane. It was so insane that after their set was done, everyone was chanting for one more song, one more song, one more song. It was insane. One more song. And you probably don't even know that next song. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if Aespa is at this level, they are probably one of, if not the most popular 4th gen group right now. Hate me if you think otherwise, but whatever. I feel like their stage presence needs to level up. And to be honest, they can do it. Their Coachella set was amazing, and that was when they were rookies. Now, don't get me wrong, the first time I saw them in Camp LA compared to the time I saw them in Toronto, they have clearly improved since then. But the improvement wasn't astronomical. There's still room for them to grow. And I truly believe that they have the potential to be an insane group that can generate a lot of hype, that can generate a lot of energy. Not just because they're Aespa, but because they have the skills to do that. I think this is a wake-up call that Aespa can no longer just rely on the fan obsession to create a hype concert environment. They themselves have to create that hype concert environment. Whether the crowd is boring like Toronto, or whether it was a hype crowd like Orlando and Charlotte. And I truly feel they can do it. I truly feel they can do it. I believe in them. If they can do it when they were rookies at Coachella, they can do it now when they're one of the most accomplished 4th gen groups in K-pop. So, what's the main takeaway from this video? To be honest, I don't know. I just needed to let out all those thoughts into some sort of a medium. Some people are gonna blame more of the crowd. Some people are gonna blame more of the set list structure. And there's gonna be some people that are gonna blame Aespa themselves. But no matter what, the moral of the video is I don't think I'm gonna attend a concert in Toronto ever again. I'd rather travel to the States, to be honest. See you guys there.